Welcome to another hashtag Because You Matter podcast, where you, the viewers, that's right, always have a seat at the table. So tonight's episode is all about dressing spiritually, putting on our armor of God, and what that looks like in our everyday lives. Before we dive into this episode, I just want to say please like, follow, and share this episode with everyone you know, because we talk about real topics on Because You Matter. Because why? You matter. And everything that concerns you matters. And it's important for us to bring it to the forefront. Yes. So at this time, like, follow, share, tag people in it that you think might need to hear this tonight. Share the wealth. This is all about becoming wealthy in the Lord, and we want everyone to prosper. So share the wealth. Don't be stingy. Don't be that stingy rich man that has his hands closed. Share it. It's free to share. Before we dig deep into this lesson or this episode, we also want to give honor to our incredible leaders here at Deeper Life Deliverance Ministries. We have Apostle and Pastor C. Parker, as well as our assistant pastor. We call him AP, Pastor Dorner. We want to just say thank you guys for allowing us to have this platform. Thank you for all the prayers and everything that you do for us daily, even those things that, we may not speak of all the time. We just want to take time to say thank you, and we honor you today on this platform. Last but not least, I'm so excited for our guest that we have on today. We have Deaconess Adair with us. Woo! And I just can't wait to get in. Are you ready to get in?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, viewers, you know the drill. I have my iPad and also my phone, so I don't miss anybody's comments. If you do comment, it is always anonymous. I do not say names, and I will put it on to our talk. Please don't forget to share. If anything is speaking to you, if you feel like there's something that you want to say, don't be shy. Put it in the chat, and we're gonna talk about it, because that's why we have the table open, so that you guys can come and join our conversation. All right, are you ready to get in?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are y'all ready to get in? Let's get into this topic. So, here we go. Life knows how to throw us curveballs. Not to mention, the enemy is also on our tail to distract us, to discourage us, and dismantle who we are in Christ. And if that's not enough, family, friends, associates, even just people, just those people.
Human beings.
Humans, yes, human beings tend to get in the way, bombarding us with their problems, their story, or even their unspoken hate for the things that you are doing, especially when it comes to your walk in Christ. Whether they know that they're hating it or they don't know it, it still comes and tries us.
Yes, it does.
At this point, it feels like everything is stacked against us. How do we fight this? Well, tonight we're going to learn how to fight. But we're not talking about, putting the Vaseline on the face and putting the boots on or the sneakers that's comfortable. We're not talking about the physical fight. The most stunning part about this is that we're going to learn how to fight in the spirit.
Yes.
So Ephesians chapter 6, verses 11 to 17 tells us just how we should fight. Shout out to Apostle Paul, because he's the one, he was writing truth all throughout the New Testament. Shout out to our man, because he's helping us out on this walk. It teaches us the importance of armor and how we should wear it, and what order we should wear it, and how we should have it on daily, because I think we forget that part. Or sometimes we be missing armor. So let's dive into this, because I'm just so excited. So tonight, we're going to focus in on the first two sets of armor that Apostle Paul tells us about in verses 12, I believe, which is the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness. All right? So have you ever lost your peace because someone said one thing to you? Have you ever replayed an argument all day? I know victims to that. Maybe you wanted to clap back, you wanted to quit, or prove your point. But the truth is, we don't battle with the physical. We battle with spiritual. These are all spiritual things that happen. And the one thing that got me, before I read the scripture, that tells us why we don't do that, I think the biggest fight is our own emotions. Our own emotions get in the way. And I kind of want to dive into that just a little bit before we go into the scripture that dismantles the whole key point of why we're having this subject today.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the feelings, our feelings and our emotions. Like for me, I've always been a person to think with my emotions. It used to be so bad, like a couple years ago. It was to the point where if you said hi, but I didn't like the tone it came, well, me and my emotions will have a meeting in the closet. And like, okay, are they mad at me? Did I do something? Like, you know, like what happened? Or like, is it me? And then I make up this whole scenario in my head. And then now I have a problem with you when all it was, you were just having a bad day. So like, how can our emotions get us in trouble?
I know for me, I'm an overthinker. So I think way too hard and way too much about everything. I overthink things that shouldn't be overthought. Like it's not that deep. I'm sitting here dived in, like I just think entirely too much. And I'm also an extremely sensitive person, so that doesn't help at all either. So I'm just always in my emotions, or like a lot of times I can be easily offended by something that wasn't even intended on being offended. I just think too much. But I think that as people, we're always easily offended. Like, I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but my husband, he's like a real snappy individual. He be ready to just pop off sometimes. I'll be like, hey, wait, think about it. And so he was working, and he told someone he couldn't make it into work. Like, I had to do something, I won't be able to make the meeting. And they're like, okay. But then the email was sent out. And the email was pretty much saying, hey, you guys have to be at these meetings. So he's like, I told them I wasn't going to be able to make it. Why would they email me and say this? I'm like, before you respond, just wait. Like, maybe it's not about you. Maybe it's about someone else. And he gets to work, and everyone got the email. So I was like, see, it wasn't even. But like, just that quick, you can be so offended, and you take things out of context all the time. So that's just one simple thing that happened that could have been different if you would have just went all crazy. I was like, please just wait. Just wait for a second.
One thing, like you say, you're overthinker, and I sympathize, because when I get to thinking, it's dangerous. Like, sometimes I wish I could turn my brain off like other people can.
Literally.
But once it goes, it goes. And one thing that I've learned through coping with the overthinking that I pulled from going to therapy, it was always fact over feeling, which leads into our discussion today. My therapist told me, okay, when you have these big emotions and they're so big where you can't think through them, take yourself out of the situation. The situation is what it is. Go through all the facts first, and then go through the feelings first. And 9 times out of 10, once you go through the facts of what happened, it's like the feelings don't even matter at that point anymore, because these are the facts. Like for our example earlier, when I said if somebody said hi the wrong way. So the facts would be, okay, instead of me feeling emotional and coming up with my own situations in my head, the facts is, okay, well, what's their face giving me? Okay, that's one fact. 2 facts. Yes, the tone may be off. Okay. Did you do anything? I don't think so. Let's have a conversation. Let's get to the bottom of it. And that's what truth does, which we're going to get into that a little later. We got you.
Sometimes we're just having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. That's all it is. Like, we overthink that to the point where it doesn't make sense. Exactly, So a viewer said, the struggle isn't just emotional management, it's spiritual warfare. And that leads into Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. In the NIV it says, For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against the evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. So our fight is not against the physical, but like this viewer said, it's spiritual warfare, because the key part, the enemy hides in our emotions. Let's say it like that. He hides in emotion. He hides in a lot of different things.
Because he knows
but
us.
the one thing he can do and he can manipulate is emotions, because emotions, God gave us emotions to feel and to express ourselves and to also interact with the world around us. But when the enemy starts to live in our emotions, that's when sadness turns into depression. That's when it goes from, anxiety to really having being anxious.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to have anxiety, like, you know, a little bit. But once
Yeah.
you're anxious and then it leads into you living in that emotion, that's when
Yeah.
it becomes dangerous. So this is a key thing of how we should fight. Is we have to remind ourselves, even with our own selves.
Yes, every day.
Like, we're not fighting against our emotions. We're fighting the enemy behind the emotion that we may be feeling at that point.
Right.
So how is there one way that we can, if the battle isn't against us, people, right? Why do we spend so much time fighting other people?
Because we're thinking, like Apostle always says, what's the word that he says? It's not flesh, it's another word he uses. We're not thinking spiritually, we're looking at everything through natural eyes.
Absolutely.
And not understanding that there's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's bigger than us. We're just the small part in the big old puzzle.
Very, very small.
And sometimes we find ourselves way more relevant than we should. Like, we're not that important for somebody to just go out of their way to purposely be smart to you, just to, like, no one's thinking like that. But the enemy is after you. And so, like you said earlier, I think it's more about focusing on truth and about facts.
Yeah.
And if we're spending time in our word, which is what we need to fight, then it will be easier to know what's real and what's not real. And even if the person does get smart with you, who cares? Why are we giving people that much time and attention?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, you have yourself a good day.
Right.
I'll come too far to be arguing with somebody because they're in a bad mood and you're not happy. Do you want a hug?
Right.
Because I can offer you a hug. You want prayer? A handshake?
Yeah.
But
something.
I'm not going to argue with you because you're in a bad mood. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But definitely focusing on what God's truth is.
Yeah.
Even when we get in our feelings and our emotions and we may be overwhelmed, we may be tired, we may think someone doesn't like us, but the truth of the matter is, what does God say about you?
Exactly.
What does His word say about you? What does His word call you? And He thinks we are beautiful, we are wonderful. You know, so He thinks all of these great things about us. We are made in His creation, in His image. And so that is what matters. So even if there is an individual who does not like you, someone who is talking about you, someone who is judging you, what does God's word say? My Father doesn't, He doesn't think this about me. And so your opinion right now is irrelevant. And so a lot of times we also have to remember that people's words, their feelings, their emotions are not actual facts. They are opinions. So you're very entitled to feel what you feel and to say how you feel. That's cool. I don't have to agree with that or accept your opinion because it's not true. It's not a truth. And that's kind of something that I believe that we should focus on when we get in those types of altercations or issues. It's not easy.
It's not.
Some days you're not going to do good.
And I also feel like there's two parts to it. I also feel like because we're so used to living in this physical where we can see, we can touch, we can feel, even though we can see things in the spirit and we can feel things in the spirit, but because we're so used to seeing with our natural eye that we forget there's a spiritual realm that is happening. And a lot of people say the spiritual realm is realer than the physical. We forget because we're just going through life and we're forgetting that there's always a spirit thing attached to the physical. And another thing I feel like we also forget is the truth, right?
Always.
We all have truth, right? We all have things that we feel as though is true based on our knowledge, based on our moral standards, based on our upbringing,
our own perspective.
But we have to understand our truth doesn't mean it's the truth. And
absolutely.
Who is the truth?
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ, the Word, and God. Jesus Christ said, and that's what made them mad. He said, I am the truth, the way, and the light. You can't come to the Father but through me. And a lot of people miss the truth. Like, and I remember one time I was just like, reading, and a truth kept coming up, and it was like, and I just felt God was saying, your truth is not my truth. Because my truth can stand. My truth is where people build a foundation on. Your truth is rocky because, like you said, it's based on our feelings, our morals, and our perspective. It's
or
not
something
based
we've
off
experienced. Just that experience doesn't make it true for everyone.
Or everyone. So, and that's the one thing that I love about God. He sets a standard. We don't have to figure out what's right, what's wrong. There's already a standard. Whether I may feel something is right and it's totally wrong, but that's why He has that standard. And before we talk about the belt of truth, I just wanted to go into Oh, I'm sorry. A viewer said something. It says, when fear overrides faith is one prime example. Our emotions become spiritually dangerous when they lead instead of following.
Yes.
I think we tend to forget. Like, okay, every time I think about emotions and feelings, I think about Inside Out. I love that movie because it literally, I got something. Yes. I got something out of both movies.
Especially the second one.
I was crying.
Yes.
But it shows us that we allow that to rule us when
yes, we do.
We are the ones who should be commanding them to do what they need to do.
Yes.
It's not, oh, I feel sad, so I'm just going to hide under the covers all day, listen to sad songs and sad movies that I know is going to make me cry and not talk to nobody. Right. You're allowing that emotion to rule you. When the truth is, the Bible, when we open it, it tells us something completely different.
Exactly.
Completely different. So, before we get into the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness, I kind of wanted to go over the why. Why is important. I kind of feel like we touched on it a little bit throughout our talk so far, but I just wanted to give a little background to people who may not know. So, Paul wrote the book of Ephesians to address the church of Ephesus about what Christianity looks like daily, how we are supposed to fight, because it's all about bringing awareness to the things of the spirit, the spiritual realm. That's what Ephesians is all about. So, speaking of this chapter, we're going to talk about what it looks like to wear the belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness, which is the breastplate of righteousness, and what that looks like daily, right? So let's go to the belt of truth. So I was like, the first thing that popped out to me about the belt of truth is, okay, it's a belt, right? And I'm like, why are belts important? So I asked Google, why are belts important? Just, simple question. So these are the things that, Google had told me. So the first one, it holds up your pants, your shirt, your skirts or shorts, right? It prevents exposure, if you think about it. Because if your pants is a little too big, put that belt on, make everything, you're not going to be, in a line of being exposed. It's specialized belts or duty belts, which is anything from construction, law enforcement, or the military. They use theirs to carry heavy duty equipment, tools, and weapons, right? Now, if you go to the gym and you're lifting them heavy weights, I don't deadlift or nothing like that. I ain't trying to, no. I don't want that. But there's people who do.
Yeah.
So they use a thick belt that helps support their core so they don't strain themselves when they lift heavy weights, right? And then the last one, and I didn't even think about this until, it said it at the very bottom. When it comes to machinery, the belt, which, we all have belts in our cars and things like that, it loops around a pulley system to transfer power from one part of the machine to the next, right? So, now that we know all these things about belts and the importance of a belt, why do you think truth is so important in our walk?
For me, I would say to help us fight against the enemy and the lies that come, because he comes to attack us. And mentally, physically, spiritually with lies. You're not good enough. You're not called. You can't do it. You're irrelevant. All of these different things that make us feel insecure. And now we don't feel good enough to walk with God, or we don't feel good enough to do what we've been called to do. We feel insignificant. We feel small. And now we're backed away in a corner instead of doing what God has called us to do, because we allowed all of the enemy's lies to affect us in our walk. And so, but knowing God's truth, it's like when he comes, you can be like, the scripture says X, Y, and Z. That's a lie. That's a lie. I rebuke that lie. I don't accept that lie. But when you don't have the knowledge or the power or the understanding, well, then it's going to be easier to be backed away into that corner. And you're just stuck in that space by yourself.
Absolutely. And I feel like truth is important because the truth holds us accountable. It holds us accountable to this walk. And I don't think a lot of people understand the level of accountability. And I'm talking to myself too, because sometimes what you say, you gotta really So it's like it's the accountability of the truth. We know the truth. We should be walking in the truth. which leads us to that right standing with God, which is righteousness.
Yes.
And when I was looking at, the notes that I had, it really hit me because it's like, I think we forget that as Christians. We know the truth,
yes,
but how do we go from knowing the truth to living truth?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think we always like, oh, it's that accountability, and, just, I don't know if I really want to be accountable to God's
grace.
Yes.
Like,
and, and it's like, okay, can you imagine you get dressed in the morning and you got the wrong shoes on, or like you forgot a sock? How uncomfortable is that all day long? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yes. That's good.
Or you forget one of the main parts of your undergarments. First of all, how are you going to look to the world?
Right.
You're going to look crazy. You got one sock on, one sock off. You forgot your underpants or something. Right. Or like, you're supportive. Right. How is other people going to perceive you? Let's think about that.
Right.
How are you going to be comfortable?
Right.
Are you going to be equipped for the day? And I think we don't think like that when it comes to putting on these things that we need to walk through life.
Right.
Because like you said, every day, it's people around you. So your coworkers, it's your boss, it's friends, it's family,
your kids,
the dog. I mean, your kids.
Everything. Listen, sometimes it be a closet, you can't find something.
Literally, it's anything.
It can be anything that set you off.
And we allow it to. Because we're not properly dressed spiritually.
Not covered in your word.
That part, because that is the truth.
It is.
It is the truth, whether we like it or not. It's the truth.
I think that it's also about understanding like how important things are. Like you said, we need it daily.
Yes.
Like you need it daily.
Yeah.
Not just on good days, not just on bad days, but daily, so that you are prepared when the enemy comes. It's like when before they go out to war, they're preparing for the war. Put this on, put that on, put this on. A cop isn't going to go out into a gunfight without their bulletproof vest on.
Right.
You're trying to lose your life at that point.
That's
so like, why don't you have your fighting the enemy without your vest, and you're wondering why you're not winning?
Right.
Because all of your weak spots are exposed, and now he can get to you.
Exactly.
And see, if you were covered, you wouldn't have to worry about it. He wouldn't be able to get to you.
Literally, like you said, if you're covered, what does the belt do? It holds you up, right?
Yes.
It prevents exposure in the wrong way.
Yes.
Now, don't get me wrong, the truth will expose you. It will expose those areas that ain't right, because that's what it does. But it exposes you under a cover.
Yes.
So where now, for example, it exposes you to God, but it doesn't expose you to the enemy.
Right.
It prevents exposure once you have it on correctly. And when we get into the other, like in the next episodes, we'll get into other garments. That belt is also to hold your other weapons.
Your weapons.
Literally.
Because how are you going to fight without the weapons?
Exactly.
You need the sword.
But we too busy trying to put the grease on our face and the shoes on and be like, don't play with me because. Yes. Literally, it's too much.
It's the wrong way.
And you can't live righteously if you don't know the truth. Or knowing the truth should produce righteous living.
Yes,
so like you said, if we know the truth, we should be walking in the truth. And if we're walking in truth, we already lining up with righteousness right there. That's all it is. I think we just get lost in the big word righteousness. That we don't break it down. Because it literally just means being right standing with God.
Yes.
And how do we be right standing? I just got this revelation yesterday, last night, and today. I was like, oh, that's all it is.
Yes.
Knowing the truth, believing the truth, walking in truth, that is righteous.
Yes.
Righteous.
People's mindsets are too much like the Pharisees.
Yeah.
And when you go about it that way, it makes the walk overwhelming. And then you're not going to want to do what he's called you to do because you feel like there's too many rules. I have to be too perfect, and that's not true.
It's not that at all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He perfects us.
Literally.
That's
how does he do that? By allowing the truth to penetrate us.
Yes.
By allowing the truth to come in and do what it did.
Yes.
We don't do nothing. Just let the truth do what it got to do. And it will make a right person out of you. Righteous person.
Yes,
because the truth is right.
Yes.
And it'll make you righteous. I'm just saying.
Yes, it will.
I'm just saying. So, truth changes what you believe, right? So it's important for us to be in the right truth.
Yes.
Because like you said, if we allow ourselves or even any other people, because like we said, their truth might not be the truth. Right. Well, their truth isn't. Let's say that their truth isn't the truth.
Because most people's truth is based on something they've experienced.
Yeah.
And so just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean I'm going to have a bad experience. It just means you had one.
Right.
I don't know. But, what the reason was for it. Right. But that doesn't mean it's going to go that way for me. Yeah. And people have a habit of pushing that on other people. Don't go there because I went there and it didn't work for me. Don't do that because I tried it and it wasn't good. And it's like, but I like that.
Right.
I tried it. I like it.
And for instance, like, okay, what if God tells you to do something and then everybody else, nah. Well, who are you going to believe?
Right.
You going to believe everybody else? Because it didn't work for them?
Right.
Or are you going to trust and believe in the God that you serve?
Exactly.
Knowing that He is a truth bearer, He's the truth holder, He is truth. What are we going to do?
Exactly.
So, changing our mindset, that's what truth does. It changed the belief system in our mindset, but righteousness changed the way that we live. So once that we understand what the truth that we're trying to get to know, it can be for anything. Like, for me, and for instance, I remember there was a time where I was just like, why I keep attracting all these guys that's just looking for one thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they hit me up and it's just like, like, and it's like, well, why? And the Lord just smacked me with the truth. He said, honey, well, he didn't say honey. He said, look at how you wear, what you wearing.
Right.
What you wearing is what is attracting that, which is why, as Christians, we should have a level of modesty.
Right.
Because we don't want people to get the wrong idea.
Right.
And if you're putting yourself out there one way, and then you're not attracting ain't right people, like, what do you want to, you get what I'm saying?
You're trying to fit.
Exactly. So once I understood that truth,
I
was like, oh. And trust me, when I started covering up, when I started, taking better pictures and not, thirst traps and all that, did they hit me up?
Right.
No, they did not. They did not. But it's the things like that.
Exactly.
We can't want to do it, but not doing the change part.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's that one little truth that God said, this is why.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Now I could have said, forget all that. It makes me feel empowered. You know how women say how they dress makes them feel empowered. It makes me feel beautiful. It makes me feel like I have all the attention in the world.
Right.
But that's your truth based on your feelings and emotions.
Exactly.
It's your truth based on what you
what you feel.
And the cause and effect of it all. And are you really, what attention are you trying to see?
Right.
It gets deeper than that. The truth will go deep.
Yes.
But instead of me saying, nah, forget that, like, I like it because it's me.
Right.
I was like, okay, Lord. Okay. And I did it. And it kept me in the, because now I don't have time, I didn't have time to be like, oh, like, no. I didn't have that problem no more.
Right.
Because that's not what they was looking for.
Right.
What they was looking for is gone now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to be able to allow the truth to change our belief system.
Yes.
To be able to walk. Because I promise you, once we allow truth to change our belief system, us walking, it's not going to be an issue.
Absolutely.
Us living in righteousness is not going to be the issue.
It's the acceptance part. That's where a lot of people struggle, because sometimes we are stuck in our own ways. And we just want to do what we want to do, how we want to do it. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we're not ready to accept what His truth says.
Exactly.
And that's not a good place to be in.
Absolutely. Absolutely not, no. So, like, just we talked about the importance of a belt, right? The breastplate protects vital organs, like we talked about before. We don't want to be exposed, right? And the two vital organs that the breastplate covers is the heart and the lungs. So then I got to thinking, and I was like, okay, so if the actual breastplate, like if we think of a soldier in the in the times of the biblical times, it covered from your chest all the way down to your stomach, right? And it attached to the belt. So if it protects the vital organs, spiritually, what should the breastplate protect? So it can protect your heart, your motives, your character, integrity, and convictions. that we just talked about all that. And that's what happens once you go from the truth into righteousness.
Yeah.
That breastplate of righteousness these are your vital organs spiritually, because these are the things that the enemy will attack.
Yeah.
He will definitely attack your integrity.
Uh-huh.
And if anybody don't know what integrity just means what you do when no one's looking.
Yeah.
But I mean, we should change that because God is always looking. So I mean, he going to attack that integrity,
right? And
your character, definitely, motives,
yeah,
and not to mention your heart, because the Bible says it's wicked. Everything about it is wicked. So these are things that we have to protect when it comes to the enemy.
Yeah. And
like we said, it's not just that he can hide in our emotions; he can hide in other people's emotions.
Yeah.
Especially if we got our emotions on lock. He gonna try us with every other person, place, and thing. It's gonna be that car that cut you off. And I just learned
when you in a rush somewhere,
literally
traffic going
literally, yes. And I literally thank the Lord that I'm over it. I can't say that. I mean, I still have a little road rage, but the Lord is working it out. And when people do stuff crazy now, I literally said, because I was on the phone with my mom and she laughed at me, but I'm like, this helps me. I say, you know what? The Lord loves you. That's what I said. Because that's all I can get out sometimes. And instead of me saying, I used to be bad to the point I was like, I hope you get in an accident.
Oh, God.
And you need to slow down. Like, it was bad. Now I just say, hey, the Lord loves you. Amen. And I keep going. Because we don't understand the things that we speak.
Yeah, yeah.
What if that really happened?
Right.
You know? And once I had that understanding, I was like, Lord, forgive me. And he gave me a better alternative. So I literally said, y'all can use it too. See, look, I'm trying to help somebody out there.
My goodness.
Just say, when they cut you off or beat back you, just say the Lord loves you. Okay? That's it. Point to them, say the Lord loves you. And keep driving. It works. Trust me, I've done it a lot. My mom laughs at me all the time. But now that we talked about the breastplate of righteousness and the belt of truth, one question that I want to pose to everybody is, what does righteousness looks like in these places, right? So we're going to break down. The first one is at home. What does that look like in your home?
Oh, Jesus. Depends on the day. I'm going to say for me as a mom and a wife, for me, it's always controlling my emotions.
Yeah.
Because, Jesus, listen, hearing mom all day, I'd be about to lose my mind. Please, go sit down somewhere. So it's me trying to respond appropriately. Or even there are moments where I have to say, please give me 5 minutes. Please, just give me a second to wrap my mind around what's going on, and then I can help you. Because a lot of times I will respond wrong to a situation, and I'm yelling, and there's not a need to be yelling. So for me, it's trying to control my emotions. Go step away for a second, breathe, and then come back and evaluate the situation. Because if not, I'm going to lose it. Or sometimes it's just me taking a moment to breathe and allowing God into the situation. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to breathe, and I'm like yesterday, I was staying in the house. The house has been a mess, it's been crazy. So much stuff going on. Refrigerator had the house thinking everything. And so I'm looking and everything just feels like a mess. So it just, at the moment, it feels very overwhelming. I don't even want to take on this task. But I breathe and I go, all right, Jesus, how we doing this? What we doing? And so each time I took a break, I would say, okay, Jesus, where we going now? Where we start now? So literally choosing to invite him into everything, because there's nothing, it's like we feel like it just has to be spiritual. He cares about every aspect of our life. So you invite him into everything. If you're cooking dinner, like the simple things, you invite him into everything. And I realize that when I allow him to take over the day goes smoother. Now if I'm trying to be in control and do things the way I want to, the days never go how I plan them to go anyway. And I planned this, be here. I don't know what's happening. So giving the Lord space in your day to navigate you throughout the day and let him be in control. And you just follow what he's doing. And your day will go much smoother.
Literally. And it's just that simple. Like for me, because I live with my grandma. So what that looks like for me is I used to do, and she does it too. We kind of don't talk to each other. We used to not talk to each other. She'll be in her room, I'll be in my room. I don't come out for the rest of the day. It was just that. But I felt like the Lord was like, spend time with her. Even if she stay in her room, just stay downstairs. Be available. Be within arm's reach. And then once I started doing that, it's like she'll come out, we'll have a conversation, and now we just chit-chatting and laughing it up. She showed me TikToks on her little crazy TikTok, and I just, talk to her and things like that, and I started to see a difference within her. And it's because, like a lot of times we forget that interaction. Like I don't know what she does in her own time. I don't know, whether she prays, and I believe she prays, because sometimes I be hearing listen to church music going on low in her room. She be having it. She trying to have a real love. She ain't love, but you never know.
Right.
Like we're supposed to be a light. We're supposed to be a light, and that conviction, righteousness. It says conviction. It protects conviction.
It does.
I got a little convicted because it was like, first of all, I'm not making no memories with her.
Yeah.
She don't like to leave the house, so it's like, okay, I gotta at least interact. And now it's to the point like we just chat it up. We do things like that. So it depends. Like you just have to, like you said, once you allow God to lead and guide you, He'll show you different things, not only for yourself, but how to be a blessing to other people.
Right. He won't nudge you. He just don't listen.
Exactly.
He don't always listen to the nudges.
So one of them that I wanted to talk about was social media. Like, what does righteousness look like when we're on social media? Because I just feel like social media is like a anything goes. Like it's its own entity. It's its own world. How do we connect the two?
Standing for what's right.
Yeah.
There are so many content creators that are Christian content creators, people that really love the Lord and they're after His heart, and they're sharing their life and their stories with the world, and they're being open and honest about what they're going through. Like, there are a few people who I follow on TikTok, and I love watching them, and they're like, listen, I struggled to become this because money was tight, and I wanted to quit, but my wife wouldn't let me. She said, God called you to this, and He stuck with it, and now they're making enough money, and people are watching them, and so I love it. So I would say standing for what's right. It's so easy to blend in with the crowd and do what everyone else is doing and laugh at what everyone else is laughing at, but it's like, would God be okay with this?
Right.
Because I always say this, would you do it in church? Would you say it in church?
That part.
If you wouldn't do it in church and say it in church, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And there was someone I was watching on the podcast, and he's like, if Jesus was in the car with you and you listened to that music, would you still listen to it? Or would you change the channel? Yeah. It's like, if you have to turn it off, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Like,
yeah, and that's true. And I feel like a lot of people, they either are on two different sides, especially when it comes to social media. They're either with it, or they're with it but in their own way. Yeah. So, like, for instance, there's a lot of Christian content creators who are believing, have relationships with Christ, and it's evident. But there's some that just anything goes. Yeah. But I'm a Christian. But anything goes. But I'm a Christian. Absolutely. So it's like, what are we doing? Yeah. Like, you're confusing. You're confusing people. And I used to be like around, I want to say maybe like 5-6 years ago, I was always posting on Facebook. Like, I go sometimes on, like, the pop-ups. Yeah. Bro, so cringy. Like, I'm just like, bro, why do I even have to post that? Like, did anybody care? I only had 3 likes on it. But I used to post all the time. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, how do I want to be seen on social media? Yeah. And I feel like that's important, because I can't say I'm walking this walk, and then it's like I'm posting crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now it's to the point where my feed is so boring. But I praise the blessing of somebody, because I'm always posting encouraging things. I'm always posting, the church stuff. Or I'm always posting, like, little bits of my story and things like that. And it's to just encourage, because like I just want to be an encouragement. Yes. I must be ready to be like, okay, look back at Ty's post, it was nothing but encouraging things. Yes. You get what I'm saying?
Because we want to be mindful. Right. The goal is never to lead someone astray, and sometimes you really don't know who's watching you. Right. And a lot of times, like Apostle always says, sometimes you're the closest thing someone gets to a Bible. Yeah. And so if you're doing inappropriate things, someone else may feel like, oh, well, they follow God. They do it. Yeah. If they do it, well, I guess it's okay then.
And I used to argue too on Facebook.
I guess it's okay then.
I used to argue it down. Don't let me get a post where it's like mad people. You know them little Facebook groups? Don't let me get in a Facebook group and start, because I used to go off. And I had to understand it was like, I can't let my good be evil spoken of. Yeah. Right? Even if I am fighting for the right reasons, I have to be mindful what I put out there. Yes. And one thing that stopped me before, somebody that I was friends with somebody had posted, oh, if you're a Bible thumper or whatever they called me, they was like, delete yourself now because I don't want nothing to do with y'all, and just was going in. And when I said I was getting like riled up, I was like, no, because this is not right. Like, no, I'm about to. And then it was like, truth came in. It was like, you don't know this person's story.
Yeah.
You don't know what people may have said to this person. And this person was of the LGBTQ community, and I believe they lost someone to like suicide. So I think someone told her, like, sorry sis, but your loved one is in hell. Like, that's basically what they said. And had I went with the first gut to go,
yeah,
I would have missed an opportunity. So when I allowed truth to speak to me in that moment, God really led what I said. And the first thing I said to that person is, I'm sorry for whoever. I said, I deeply apologize on behalf of anyone who ever made you feel like this, because that's not a good representation of Christ. And I said, if anybody says something like that to you, it's a difference between having a relationship with God and being in the religion of Christianity. And I apologized, and I said, I'm deeply sorry that this happened to you. And I said, we're not all like this. Some of us really believe in God and really have a walk. And I said, you know, I'll still pray for you, and you know, and like, you know, losing a loved one and all that. And all they did was harden. Where I could have just went, da, 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 thinking I was defending the faith.
Right.
What did Jesus do? What did truth tell you? The truth, this person was hurting. And the only way that they thought to get their thoughts out is by saying that. Now, had I reacted, I would have been just like the rest of the Christians that went to this person and said X, Y, and Z. But because I chose to respond with truth, lined up with righteousness, I don't, still to this day, I don't know if I ever reached that person, but I feel like, you know, I did.
For them, the heart to it definitely makes a difference, because they could have just ignored the comment.
Exactly. And then it was going off for everybody else, though, but I did what the Lord told me to do, so I was like, okay, it works. And then we're going to go through this last question before we end. It says, can someone wear the belt of truth without wearing the breastplate of righteousness? Is that possible? What do you think?
I think anything is possible. People have to do a lot of things. So, should you do it? Probably not. But do people do it? Yes, probably.
I feel like a lot of people. I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely.
We all, and I'm, you know, it's not just everybody else.
Do things
I fall victim to it as well.
We
missing something. They think you're probably looking at us like, y'all good. Like, y'all supposed to have the whole thing on and there's things missing, things falling off. Like, we're just all over the place. But I feel like it's very possible. This is why we should stay in the Word. And keep at it. Like, just because we fall one time or we're missing something in one time doesn't mean we go back to it over and over and over again.
I think it's about preparing yourself properly. And sometimes we don't, right? You got a lot of things to do today, or it's a busy day, or you didn't get good sleep that night, or whatever your reason is for not preparing, and you rush out the house. You didn't get the moment with God, or you didn't spend time throughout the day to invite Him in, and so now everything is bothering you. The enemy's after you. Everything is triggering you. All because you missed out on a few minutes of just inviting Him into the day.
And like we talked about, truth will set us free. Righteousness will transform us to right living. That's it. That's all it is. Right? So, before we close, I know we've been talking about the belt and our breastplate of righteousness, right? But if you're like me, I always have like silly questions, I feel like. And one of the questions that I thought before I even read these verses is, why are we getting dressed with a belt first? Like, what happened to the shirt or the pants or like all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to everything else? The first thing we go for is the belt. But what I had to understand is, number one, the armor of God only deals with protective gear. And it made me think about the biblical soldiers, right? Because now soldiers have different forms of protective gear. But when Paul wrote this, he wrote this in biblical times. So with them, it says when you look at the soldier in biblical times, the very first part of their armor that they put on is the belt, because the belt holds everything together. And actually, the breastplate of righteousness, it connects to the belt. So if you put the breastplate of righteousness on, it's not going to stay. You got to put the belt on first, then attach the belt, the breastplate of righteousness. And without the belt, the breastplate would shift, it would clank, leave the soldier's vital organs, like we talked about, exposed. So if we don't have that belt of truth on, we leave ourselves exposed. Our spiritual vital organs we leave exposed. We don't want to do that. The enemy going to take his stand every time he's going to take it. It also provides support for other parts of the armor that we'll get into in the later episodes. And I know if you know the armor, then you know what goes in the belt. That sword. Right. Exactly. So the truth holds everything together. That's the foundation. And who's our foundation? Jesus. So it starts with the truth. So I was like, okay, that makes sense now. Because I ain't gonna lie, I did say that. And I was like, I wonder if anybody else will.
Understandable, but you know what I love? That the Lord, He makes sure He gives us the understanding and clarity.
Exactly.
I mean, you have to ask questions to understand.
Yeah.
Just saying yes and going with it. And that ain't helpful.
Right. He gives us, yes, we can say, yeah, sure, but it don't hurt to ask why. That's what the understanding comes from. Don't get me started on Proverbs, because Proverbs is all about the understanding of wisdom. But anyway, that's another episode, another time that we'll probably get into later. So as we wrap this up, I'd like to say thank you to our viewers and thank you to our guests for joining us tonight. We have the food pantry on Saturday, this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Even if it's not you, if it's a neighbor that you know is struggling, if it's a friend around the corner down the street, come on our behalf, come get some food. It's free. You know, we don't know how the world's going to go, so if I was y'all, stock up. Come get some food, stock up, do what you got to do. So like I said, we'll be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday. So come on, get your canned goods. We're going to make sure, because we be putting stuff in there. We're going to make sure you got it, okay? And as always, we have so much going on Sundays. We have Bible Morning Ed at 9 a.m. We have Sunday Morning Education at 10 a.m. And then we have Sunday Morning Worship at 11 a.m. But this Sunday, we're just going to have Sunday Morning Worship at 11 a.m. So we're here at 199 North True Road. I almost forgot a second. North True Road, Hamilton, New Jersey, 08037. And like I always say, what's the worst? You gonna come in the building, we gonna hug you and say Jesus love you, and we do too. Like, that's the worst that can happen.
Right.
Or, I mean, other it's not bad to me, but you sit down, the Lord deals with you, He tear you up a little bit, shake you a little bit.
Somewhere.
But you ain't gonna do the same, I can tell you that. So come on, come join us on Sunday for a powerful word. Everything is powerful. Just come on and sit down and let the Lord work through you. And as always, we'll be here next week with the Armor of God Part 2, where we talk about the next set in our garments spiritually. So I can't wait to see you next time. And we'll be here at 6 p.m. next week. See ya!